Hello, everybody. All right, I am Pamela Lewerenz, the Brick Wall Coach, and I've been around all week. I've been around all week doing some posts and just asking you questions about overall your successful planning for your business. So when you join me, just give me a wave or a thumbs up so I know you're here. If you're not able to join live and you're catching the replay, simply type in hashtag replay, and anybody can put comments in. I am here to answer your questions, and I will most certainly circle back around and get any of those answers out to you if I miss them during the presentation or if you're watching it afterwards. So really, I'm a business consultant, but I am also a success coach, and that is what I do. That's what I love doing. I love to work with Gen X solopreneurs or freelancers and just determine what their focused plans are, what their goals are, chunk them up into manageable steps, give you the accountability, and make sure you get them done. So that's it in a nutshell. And today I wanted to share with you 5 of the steps that I have in my 12-step success program. Number 1 is all about not being afraid. Not being afraid of the unknown. Not being afraid to put yourself out there. Not being afraid to be unique in who you are. A lot of people identify with me and say, okay, she's the one who is the professional one. Probably because I'm not silly a lot of the time, and I have won that title of being professional. Maybe it's because I worked in the business world for over 3 decades and you didn't have that kind of silliness or fun in your day when you were out doing a 9-to-5. A lot of different explanations for that, but yeah, I am probably more leaning towards the professional, quiet, reserved kind of introvert side than anything else. But the information that I have for you is like wonderful gold nuggets. So not being afraid and not conforming to what other people want you to be or think you should be is really one of the things that I dive into when I work with people. One of the things that I want everybody to pretty much be aware of when they're planning out the goals for their business. You have to be you. You have to be you. It's too hard to be somebody else. It's too hard to put on a different hat or make yourself be someone that you're really not. It's all about getting comfortable with who you are and presenting in a way that makes sense for you. Yes, it's going to have to connect you with other people, but that's other steps of it. The first thing is to not be afraid of being who you are. The second one is really all around your mindset. And that goes for anybody who knows me, that goes for your life in general. So your business is just this portion of your life. And when you decide, hey, I'm going to run a business, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. You pinpoint what type of business you want to run. And then a lot of times you just go off and start doing all the little things around it. And it's not until you're in the throes of doing it all that negative mindset can sometimes creep in. That mindset of, am I good enough? And what I'm talking about, is it resonating with anyone? All these little things. So to keep up that positive mindset is super important. those positive podcasts, the reading, one of the things that I do is I have this great meditation book. It's Meditations for Women Who Do Too Much. And I have had this book forever. And basically what it is it's a book that I take out and I read every morning. It's got a small passage in it, all different kinds of subjects for any women who do too much. And I'm sure a lot of you can identify with me on that. That's one of the things that I do so that I have a positive mindset first thing in the morning. Along with my meditation and my prayer, like I have a whole routine of things that I do to make sure that I'm in the right mindset to be able to work with other people. And mindset is something you have to be mindful of. You really do. You have to. Sometimes it's something you need to remind yourself that you need that dose of positive mindset in your life. The third thing is boundaries. And this kind of goes with time management, but I'm going to go a step further and talk about setting up boundaries around a lot of different things. Making sure you have boundaries with your clients, that you have set office hours that they can get a hold of you. Have you thought about how they're going to communicate with you? When I first started out in business, I didn't have any of those little things even thought about. So I had people that communicated with me on the phone, through text message, through about 6 different platforms, through email. I had one client who, no lie, probably sent me 50 emails a day. Did you think of this? Have you done that? Is this? It can get out of control. It can spiral out of control very, very easy. So making sure you have your boundaries set up around how you're going to interact with your clients. Like I said, your office hours, your hours where you're going to wear your business hat, and the hours that you're going to wear your mom hat, the hours you're going to wear your friend hat, your daughter hat, whatever it is, you have to make sure you have boundaries set around that as well. The fourth thing is time management, and time management is its own thing. So time management and productivity also go kind of hand in hand. In order to have good time management, you really need to know what your productivity character really is. And there's 4 of them. I'm not even going to go into all the different things about that. But once you pinpoint what makes you productive, it's a little bit easier on the time management side. So for instance, for me, and I've tried several things over the years, and the last thing that kind of just hit me and stuck with me is to do time blocking. So on my calendar, I have every activity or task time blocked out. I have it color coded. So I have it color coded if it's a joint thing between my husband and I, because we have a calendar that is a joint calendar. And I'll tell you why. Because when I first started doing this business, and you can probably relate, hello, you do it out of your home, so you're here. People have an inclination that because you're working out of your home, again, boundaries, you're working out of your home, so you're just able to drop everything and run to an appointment or, whatever you need to do. You have to be careful about managing your time around that so it doesn't get out of control. And what my husband was doing was he was making appointments here, there, everywhere, saying, we're going to go here and play board games with our friends on this night. And I'm like, we can't go that night. That's the night that I have clients and I meet with them at night. That's not working. So we have a joint calendar now. So everything on that calendar is color coded. He knows if it's in red, that means you better pay attention. Don't schedule anything. And it's color coded depending on what my task is. If it's something that I have to show up live for, I do it in purple. If it's relating to a client, it's like teal blue. If it's an actual business step, I put that in yellow. It's all different colors. Keeps me organized. Might not work for everybody, but that's what worked for me and my productivity type. So once I set my boundaries in place of this is when I'm working, these are my work hours. So yes, if I can only get into a doctor's appointment during work hours, just as if you were working outside of the home, you're going to schedule yourself that chunk of time to go to the appointment. For the most part, if they're work hours, and I try to stick to them. So it's managing your time, again, is just kind of an individual up to each person. What works over here for Susie is not necessarily going to work for you. Just because Betsy tells you that it works for her doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You have to figure out what's going to work best for you and your life. Some people jump out of bed and get all their work done first thing in the morning and they're done by noon. That doesn't work if you're trying to get a husband and kids and everything all ready and out the door. So it really is up to you how you manage your time. The fifth thing I wanted to talk about is focus. Focus is a huge subject, and focus can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. So I have this cute little, if I can find it. Okay, so focus really, when we're talking about focusing, I'm talking about this part of focusing. Focusing on what your vision and your goals are. So Henry Ford said, obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. I'm just going to say it one more time. So it's obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. And goals are key. They're the key to your success. And I know I've been harping on this all week, so that's why I kind of wanted to put this last on the list and go into this a little bit more. When I talked about having an overall business plan, really that's your success plan, but it is a business plan. And I know a lot of people, when they're solopreneurs, they're freelancers, they're even some LLC, they don't think that having a business plan is important, but it is, and I'm going to tell you why. Your business plan contains your why. Everything you do centered around your business will come back to your why. So you need to have that written down. Your why is probably not going to change. My biggest why, I have a lot of little side whys, but my biggest why of why I went into business is my family. Providing for my family, being able to, live my life in a different way than I did before. I wanted to be more present for my family, and I thought, what better way than working for myself, setting my own hours, all those things that come with it. So that's my biggest why of my business. So I have that front and center. After that, you're going to create your business plan. And really, it does not have to be complicated at all. I know people hear business plan and they're like, I'm not going for funding. I'm not looking to take out a loan for anything. Why do I even really need this business plan? Well, you don't need an 89-page business plan, but you do need a business plan that's going to be a few pages long. The first thing you want to look at when you are doing your business plan is you want to make sure you're doing a summary of defining your overall goals and objectives for your business, This is where you make your mission statement or that vision statement. You're going to describe what your business does, what your service or your product is, any of those unique characteristics of your business. And then you want to add in your values. So that's really your overall, what people call an executive plan. That's your statement of your business. Then the next part of what your business plan needs to contain is how you are going to be set up, how you're organized, how it's going to be managed. And you're thinking again, well, I'm only a solopreneur or a freelancer, so why do I need this? Because all those other steps come into play from this. So look at your business plan as if it's your guide, like your Northern Star to how your business is going to be run. This is when you figure out what your working hours are, how you're going to manage your business. Do you need other people to help you with any part of it? What exactly do you need to do in order to say, I have a business? This is the part where you would write up your business policies or your procedures. Yep, those SOPs that when we don't do them, come back to bite us. So that's all kind of in that second section. And yes, you can go and make a third section if you need to on funding. I recommend everybody do this just because you need to ask yourself that question. Do you need startup money? A lot of times you don't need any startup money other than purchasing the different programs, of course your computer, whatever you need, but that's still startup money that you're starting with. If it's beyond that, then you have to look into the funding piece, but you want to write that all down because it has to do with your financials and your tax returns and all that kind of stuff. Then you want to have the fourth part is the description. What do you do, but how does it make you different? This is kind of where you're coming out with your ideal client avatar. This is how you're just starting to touch base on that. You build it out later, but you've got it on a piece of paper so you know that it's important to you. In that next section, you're going to be listing out exactly what service or product you're going to provide. I see a lot of times people go into business and they're like, what is it exactly I should be offering? You want to make sure you have that outlined before you start. You want to determine what the price is. How are you going to determine the price? Well, it's all based on how many hours, the value it has, the market, the need for it, all that stuff. So that goes into section 5. And then in the next section, you just want to expand more on your marketing and your sales. How are you going to sell it? Are you basically just an online business? Are you thinking about doing things in person as well? You have to think about the legal ramifications, all those legally things that you need to have in place. Figuring out really what is it I'm doing that's solving the need of my clients or my potential clients? And is there any cost involved in this marketing? That's a huge one. You want to make sure you're putting that in as well. And then really in that last section, because I only do 7 sections, that last section is where you're looking at your financial projections. Again, I see a lot of people say, well, I don't really need anything to start up with, and I'm going to sell, 6 packages and I'm going to be good. But what happens if you don't sell 6 packages? You want to make sure that you are making enough profit so that you're able to pay the debts that you're incurring. You know, you've got expenses. Some of us have things that are paid annually or quarterly or even monthly. And you don't want to overextend that. So this part is where you're going to make your actual budget. All right, so that's really the business plan. So you've got your why, then you've got your overall business plan. Then you're going to start pulling that apart. From that business plan is where you figure out how you're going to create the goals that you need to reach what you define as success. And everybody defines success differently. You know, for some people, being successful means that they're working their 10 or 15 hour a week job and they're pulling in $500 extra a month. And that's great. And other people really want this to be a full-time, hey, I need to cover the roof over my head and put food on the table kind of thing. So that's why having that business plan in writing is so important, and revisiting it is so important, because you've got the structure, you've got the outline, your answers lie back there. Your answers are in your business plan. That's how you're going to determine the goals. Then you're going to have all those goals. You're going to have to chop them up into manageable little chunks. And then from there, you know, you take those manageable chunks and make them into your quarterly and your monthly and your weekly and your daily goals. And making sure, or steps, I should say. And you want to make sure that what you are concentrating on 80% of the time is a money generating activity. Because let's face it, we could sit there all day, and some of us are really good at this. Hello, Pam. Making up packages and content and tons of stuff that never comes to fruition. We've got it sitting there in Dropbox or Google Drive, but we don't do anything with it. Whether it's because we're just not sparked to use it, it could be because that's not really, it's fun for us, but it's not the answer to what our clients' problems are. We get lost down rabbit holes when we are by ourselves, and that's why it's so important to have communities like this one, and other groups you can find not only on Facebook but LinkedIn, and networking in person. It's important to stay in touch with other people, so when you start going down a rabbit hole or you start straying off your path, these people can guide you back to where you're supposed to be and say, remember your why. Remember your business plan. You've got your top goals, and I never recommend more than 4 or 5 top goals every year, because believe me, once you start chunking them down, you're going to see why. They're going to help you. These people are going to help you stay on the straight and narrow. They're kind of like your colleagues, as if you were in an office setting, showing you, you know, if you could turn to them and say, I have to do this spreadsheet, but I don't know how to use Excel at all. They'd help you. And that's what these groups and communities are for. You want to make sure you have a core group of people that you can always rely on to give you a helping hand when you need it, because we all need that support, that guidance, that helping hand at all times. So I made a couple of posts this week, and there were some people that talked. There were some people that left comments in them. Sorry, it's Friday. Christina said that she had posted that she is looking for like-minded and motivated people. Something to the effect of effort does equal results. And I want to say, yes, Christina, absolutely. Effort does equal results. And I think that's a large part of this. How I even got into the, excuse me, into the piece of success coaching is because it's sometimes we've got, remember that fire you had? when you first started your business. You were so excited. You couldn't wait to get out there and let your light shine to everybody around you. But then you noticed that you weren't getting the results that you wanted. So that fire starts to dim. And sometimes the flame even goes out on it. So we want to reignite that flame. And by surrounding yourself with like-minded people, surrounding yourself with people that are motivated themselves and are going to help you stay motivated, it's easy to see that you're going to be able to take action on what you say. Instead of making an endless list of, I'd really like to get to these things someday, but then not being able to even tackle it, you're going to be able to stay motivated by other people around you, by that positive mindset, by making sure your time is managed, all these little pieces that go into it. I had a comment by Tina who said that getting others to see the same vision that she sees with her opportunities. Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. And that comes with visibility. And visibility comes with time and with patience. And believe me, I learned the hard way, because I went full bore running into this thinking, okay, look at all these cool, awesome things I have to offer to everybody. Crickets. And I'm like, really? Really? Huh. Well, think about it. If people don't know you, and there's millions of people here on this internet planet that we're on, people don't know you. You haven't built the like, the know, or the trust factor. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of patience. My husband reminds me of the patience part a lot of the time. When I would get discouraged, he would say to me, but have you looked at this? You know, you had 7 more people sign up for this. Or did you look over here? Have you looked at, I have a blog. So he would say, do you have more response over here? He'd always try to bring me back to my original why and my original business plan and the goals that I had set out for myself. Again, it's because you've got that business bestie or a group or a community of people, and it's consistent. Consistency, consistent, whatever it is that you're doing for your marketing plan, you just have to be consistent and you have to be patient with it. And if you aren't seeing growth after a little while, then it's probably something that you haven't pinpointed your ideal client. You're not in the right places to attract them. Whatever it is, you have to start pulling all that stuff apart and looking at that. But yeah, that was great. I loved that comment because, like I said, it was really tough for me. And I know I kind of posted about some of that in the beginning, but I'm going to be 5 more minutes. I just want to go back and let you know that when I started this side hustle back in 2009, I had no intention of ever opening up a business. Well, maybe a little intention. So both my parents were entrepreneurs, 3 of my brothers, and 2 of my sisters. So basically everyone in my family had some type of business, and I grew up around home-based businesses. So I think that was in the back of my mind. It wasn't until really 2014 that I said, you know what? I want to do something. So let's take the side hustle. Let's take this little tiny management accounting firm that you have 1 client in and see if you can make it grow. So I gave myself 12 full months because I was an elected official and I didn't want to run in the next election. Long story, it was 12 months away. I figured that's enough time to tell my constituents, find somebody else to run in the silly election. I don't want to do it anymore. It took 12 full months and I built that business successfully, but I didn't build it sustainably. And I say that because I was very happy with my results and the clients that I had. Now, back then I was part-time online and part-time in person. So it was brick and mortar and online, maybe 50-50. And things were great, except that I was working about 80 hours a week just on money generating revenue. I mean, it was absolutely insane. There was no way that I could possibly keep it up. It was 7 days a week, all hours of the day, no boundaries, none of this stuff. None of these things that I have in my success program did I have in place. I woke up one morning in January and I thought, okay, I'm doing this. I don't even want to go get out of bed. Like, I just got into bed 4 hours ago and I knew what my day was before me and I didn't want to do it. And that is the first time that I noticed I no longer had a flame. I was not leaping out of bed in the morning thinking, yes, can't wait to go to work. I was thinking, oh no, please let it be 10 p.m. so I can get back in bed again. So that's when I changed. And I know it can be done. I know it can be done. I'm hoping to catch it before that happens to you, before your flame goes completely out. You just get utterly overwhelmed with everything that's out there. And I'm hoping that, you know, just by making sure you've got your why, you've got your outlined business plan, and then your pinpointed goals, then you can get into the rest of it. I also put up here, if you have not grabbed my success planning guide yet, that is up here for you to grab too. So that's going to help you with some of this. I also put my website down. I have freebies on my website, no opt-in for those, and those change like every 4 or 6 weeks. And I also have a great resource library with a ton of printables in there. So check that out. And at any time, if anybody has any questions around anything, just reach out to me. I mean, that is what we're here for. We are here to support each other. We have to do it from a distance. We have to do it through cameras or telephones, but we're here for each other. And I just want you to know that. So hopefully you have gotten at least one gold nugget out of this success planning. Like I said, these are only 5 of the 12 steps that I have in my success program that I run. And questions, put them in the comments, please. I guess I should check and make sure nobody has any questions at the moment. They do not. So if you think of anything, feel free to send me a message, put them in the comments, tag me in the group. I'm around. I hope everybody takes time to enjoy their weekend and do something for yourself this weekend. Relax, get your mind off of work, and you can start fresh again on Monday. All right. Thanks so much for having me this week.